Right off the top, guys, I want to apologize for the extremely late upload. As you guys know, I usually do it right after the game, but yesterday was at the hospital all night. Didn't get a lot of sleep. I'm exhausted right now, and you know, it was a really long night last night. Didn't get a chance, obviously, to record the videos for you guys, but I'm here to do it today. I'm hoping this is not going to be a regular deal. I assume it's not going to be, but don't worry, I'm okay. It wasn't me personally, but you know, it's never fun when you see a family member, basically, and some sort of your family go into, you know, the hospital. It's never a good thing, all right? But you know what is a good thing? That was a really awful transition. But the Toronto Raptors, they beat the Chicago Bulls 124-101 in Chicago. And no Kawhi Leonard, no OG Anunoby, no Pascal Siakam. However, the Bulls don't have Zach LaVine, Chris Dunn. Didn't look like Lauri Markkanen played at all either. So it was kind of a weird one. You were basically playing the Knicks last night. At least that's what it looked like. And but the Raptors, they got to come out and play. And for the first what? I don't know, 15, 20 minutes of the game, it was a tight contest. But as the second quarter went along, the Raptors started to pull away, and the offense started kicking in, and that was all she wrote, right? Raptors were actually trailing by 2 after one quarter of play, 28-26. But then in the second quarter, they found their shot. 41 points for the Raptors, and they only gave up 28 once again. So a plus 13 quarter, plus 11 at the break, and they're feeling good. They just need to continue to build on the lead in the third quarter, and then kind of cruise their way to a victory in the fourth. And that is exactly what happened. They only give up 19 points in the third quarter, score 26, so there's a plus 7. You're plus 18 going into the fourth. And even in the fourth, with no Kyle playing, no Marc Gasol playing, you were still plus 5, 31-26, and Raptors win by 23, 124-101. Now, Marc Gasol, my man, we see now what happens when he shoots the damn basketball. He had 15 points, 8 rebounds, and 6 assists. He shot 6 of 11 from the field. He knocked in a 3 or 2 here and there. Great to see from Marc Gasol. Danny Green only played 19 minutes, and I'm glad because of his crazy amount of work he's had earlier in the season. To see him have I guess a lower minute affair today, last night. I apologize if I say tonight or today in this video, because I'm so used to doing them right after the game, so I'm not used to saying yesterday. Danny Green only had the 8 points in 19 minutes, but that's just Danny Green. If he played 25, 30 minutes, he'll get in he'll sprinkle in a couple more threes into the mix for the Toronto Raptors. Serge Ibaka, big night for Serge. 28 minutes, he had 23 points, 12 rebounds, and a couple assists as well for Serge Ibaka. Marc Gasol, we already talked about him. Kyle Lowry, look, his shot wasn't falling, but 7 rebounds, 8 assists for Kyle Lowry in 28 minutes, so I'm glad he didn't even play 30 as well. Again, a game where you just want to get your starters out there, build the lead, and then relax the rest of the game. We've seen that the last 3 against the Bulls, the Knicks, and the Bulls, right? That's what we've seen, and it's exactly what's happened, and that's beautiful. It's exactly what you want to see from these teams. And Fred VanVleet played 33 minutes, 23 points, and 4 rebounds and 6 assists. He was shooting the ball like crazy today, and it's great to see. And the team was just shooting the ball. It doesn't matter who's taking it now. You know, as the games are coming on the stretch, and I understand if people are going to say, well, you're playing Chicago, you're playing New York, you're playing Chicago again. Yeah, but no matter who you're facing, the Raptors have gotten wide open looks. But a lot of the times earlier in the year, they haven't knocked them down. And you know who I want to give credit this to? Marc Gasol. Is anybody talking? I think over the last couple videos, people have been really hush-hush about the Marc Gasol not being good. And, oh, we missed JV. Look, the numbers Jonas is putting up there is incredible in Memphis. He's doing an amazing job there. You know why? He's taking 20, 25 shots a night. Good on him for doing it well, too. But here in Toronto, you would have never seen JV take 20 shots a game. And if he did, Raptor fans would have ripped him alive, saying, why is this guy shooting so much when you have DeMar and Kyle? You wanted those guys to shoot. Or even Kawhi in this year's sense, I guess. With Marc Gasol, Yeah, he's sprinkling in some points here and there. He had 17 today, or last night. He also had 8 rebounds, and he had 6 assists. The ball moves. The Raptors are one of the best three-point shooting teams since that trade. Enough said, you know? And listen to this. The bench scoring for this Raptor team hasn't really been that great over the season, right? If you take out the whole 82-game stretch, even though we haven't played 82 yet, you guys know what I'm talking about. The bench really hasn't been a big impact. Guys with like DeLon Wright who haven't been great, and guys been not being healthy and out of the lineup. Jody Meeks, the guy who was signed for the rest of the season from the 10-day contract a little earlier, he played 29 minutes. Great to see that. 14 points, 5 rebounds, and he shot like 6 of 9 or something like that from the field. Great to see from Jody Meeks. Norman Powell has been shooting the ball exceptionally lately. And he's picking a great time to start shooting the ball well. He had 15 points, 4 boards, 4 dimes in 29 minutes. Great job there. Jeremy Lin, look, anytime this guy can give me double digits in points, I'm okay with it. And he played 24 minutes. He had 12 points, 2 boards, 3 assists. Good to see there. Look, all around, just a solid performance. And you expected that, right? Against a team like Chicago, who is 21-56 after that game yesterday. They're not a very good team. And now you take out Zach LaVine and Lauri Markkanen and Chris Dunn and guys like that. You expect to beat them down pretty good, no matter if you didn't even have Kyle Lowry last night. You expect to win that game. And the Raptors, but they made their wide open looks, and that's what we've gotten used to seeing. They shoot 52% from the field. 18 threes. It's been the mathematical stuff lately. They've been shooting 15-plus threes. Now, we can't expect that come playoff time because it's a totally different beast, and teams are going to play harder, and it's going to be more difficult. You're not going to be playing Chicago, New York, and Chicago in those games. But when you get your wide-open shots, we expect them to knock them down. And that's what they've been doing lately. 14 of 18 from the free throw line, 78%. Rebounds were another problem, though. -6 in the regular rebounds category. And in the offensive glass, -11. The Raptors gave up 17 offensive rebounds. That is way too many. 35 assists. I mean, anytime you have Kyle Lowry and Marc Gasol on the floor, 35 assists, people. 35 assists on 46 made field goals. That's insane. 10 steals to their 7. 4 blocks to their 6, only 11 turnovers. The turnover numbers have been down lately over the last few games. I understand the teams you're facing, but for mindset and confidence sake, it's good to see this team getting the job done. And for the Toronto Raptors, guys, look, we knew this the last stretch of the season, it was not going to be a difficult one when it comes to scheduling and the teams you're facing. However, over the next few games, do not expect it to be an easy contest. I think 3 of the next 4 teams you're facing are all battling in between that 6 and 9 seed in the Eastern Conference. It's going to be a crazy matchup. It's going to be ridiculous matchups. The first game is on Monday. Tomorrow. There we go. I got them. Tomorrow night, as the Raptors welcome in Orlando to Scotiabank Arena. That ain't going to be an easy game whatsoever. Orlando is a team, I understand they're record-wise and standings-wise, they're maybe not a very good team, but the Raptors have had some trouble against Orlando this year, and you play Orlando, then you're in Brooklyn. Who's in 6th? Brooklyn, or maybe Detroit's past them. Charlotte, who's hanging on for dear life to those final playoff spots, and then you got Miami, who's right in that final playoff spot, and then you have Minnesota to end the year. But the Raptors have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 games remaining. I would love to see them win all 5 and go into the playoffs in an 8-game win streak, but with people resting and everything against those teams' full lineups, yeah, you might lose a game here and there. Oh well. But all we want is to be healthy going into the playoffs. With Kawhi Leonard coming back and OG coming back from that concussion protocol that he's in right now. I mean, look, all I want to see is them come back healthy. That's it. All right, so you know what, guys? That is going to do it for this one. You guys enjoyed this video, and you guys enjoyed the victory yesterday in the Windy City in Chicago. Hit that like button. I do appreciate that. Hit the subscribe button if you guys have not already. Comment down below what you think of the game, what you think of the video. Who's your MVP from yesterday's game? Mine, Serge Ibaka. He was incredible. 23 and 12 on efficient shooting, and he gives you good defense. He's my guy. Now, you could give it to Marc Gasol, who was incredible himself. I think he was like a plus 20-something on the floor as well when he was out there. He was awesome. You give it to him as well. I would not be opposed to that. All right, I want to hear your guys' thoughts on who the MVP was. What are your thoughts on this game? The last few games for the Raptors, even though they've been playing bad teams. Your thoughts on their play. And Evan and I will talk to you guys podcast edition. It's going to be Wednesday afternoon. Link is in the description for the podcast channel, guys, and for the podcast itself on iTunes. Twitter is also down below. Follow up, send me a DM, do all that great stuff, and I will talk to you guys Blue Jays edition very shortly as they lost an extra innings game against the Detroit Tigers today. Their only 2 losses of the season so far have been extra inning affairs, so if that's a positive you want to take from it, you go right ahead. But and we'll talk to you guys Leafs edition tomorrow as they look to clinch a damn playoff spot with either an overtime or shootout loss or a flippin' win. And I want to win in New York for John flippin' Tavares. Can we give that to him? I mean, not only would it be good for him emotionally, but he can sit here and say, we won in New York to clinch ourselves a playoff spot. And that's nice to hear from him. It would be beautiful to hear after all the mumbo-jumbo he's gone through over the last little while with those New York fans. All right? And as for the Toronto Raptors, guys, like we've said, their next game is on Monday as they take on the Orlando Magic at Scotiabank Arena. 7:30 tip-off. The Raptors look for their 4th straight victory, and they look to really, really hurt the Orlando Magic. The next, 4 games. 4 of the last 5 games are against teams fighting for the playoff spot in the lower level of the Eastern Conference. You can either break a team's heart or help them get in a playoff spot. I don't care who you are. I want to beat all of them. Just so Raptor fans can sit back and say, hey, we beat possible first-round matchups. We can take each and every one of them, even though we all know we can. Some people say, I mean, look, Detroit's a team that I'm a little wary about, but we're not going to get into all those specifics about that game, all right? So tomorrow, or on Monday, actually, tomorrow, geez, I'm all over the place because of the dates being all mixed up. 7:30 tip-off at Scotiabank Arena. Raptors look for their 4th straight victory against the Orlando Magic, all right? So thank you guys so much for listening and watching. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. We'll talk to you guys then.